Hey guys, so this is my unruly forsythia patch, and today the plan is to relocate some of this to the back garden space. I've always wanted to add this early spring bloomer to the back gardens, and today I figure why not try to dig up a little bit of this and take it to the back. I was gonna buy some, but I do have such a large patch. I think the better option would be just to relocate some of this. So we are going to get started by digging up quite a few of these shrubs. I'm going to start by trying to dig up the bushes that are closer to the edge of the driveway and the ones that aren't that large. So I'm going to see if I can dig this one up right here. A lot of gravel in this area, so this isn't proven to be that easy to try to dig up. Yeah, the ground is really hard over here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to dig any of this up. But I'm going to try. I might have to move further into the patch because this ground is really hard. A lot of rocks over here, and this doesn't seem to want to. Let me see. The ground is super hard in this area, but I'm gonna see if I can pull this up. Yep. So that was easier than I thought. Trying to dig it was rather difficult, but I was just able to pull this up. This is turning out to be a much harder job than I thought, and I honestly think that some of this forsythia actually probably grew into the driveway area, because if you don't trim these back, whatever branches touch the ground will eventually develop roots. So I actually think that I am digging through some of the driveway, but when we bought this property, this is how the forsythia was. We never touched it. So. But I guess I'm going to try to start trying to keep this trimmed up a bit. And you really want to start trimming this after it blooms, like as soon as possible, because this does bloom on last year's growth. So if you are going to trim it, you're going to want to make sure you trim it right after it blooms. So I do think that this is going to be enough for today's project, so let's go ahead and get these in the ground. This is where we're going to plant them. I think I'm going to do a trio of 3 on the corner of this flower bed. So let's go ahead and get them in the ground. I'm going to do one here, one in the middle right here. See if that hole is big enough. Here you go, a bit more wider. gonna tuck this smaller one right behind this boomerang lilac up closer to the tree. And once these are finished blooming, I am going to go ahead and trim them back and shape them up a bit. And I just broke this one. So I guess I won't have to trim this one back terribly, but I just knocked all the flowers off. But I'm gonna tuck this one right here. Our trio of forsythia is in. I think that gives the space a nice pop of color. I will trim these back once they are done blooming, but I accidentally dug up some lily of the valley. Here's another piece of it. So I did have lily of the valley in this flower bed. I dug up a small patch, so I'm going to plant that patch in the woodland garden, so let's go ahead and do that right now. This is my patch of lily of the valley that I dug up by accident. It can be invasive in some areas, but it is also great as a woodland plant. So I'm going to plant this small patch in this garden space. I think I'm going to just tuck it right in there next to the hellebores and where the start of the path begins. I'm not going to bother to water it in because we are about to get some rain, so it will be fine until then. The lily of the valley is back in the ground, but since we are expecting rain, I did want to show you guys the blooms on the cherry tree in case the storm destroys them. But it is gorgeous. It is loaded with blooms. But that's going to be all for today, guys. I thank you for joining me on this project, and I hope again to see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.